channel. My name's Ebony and today we're doing a declutter and organise video. I'm so excited for this because I've said on my channel before how passionate I am about decluttering, and today I'm mixing the two. So yes, let's get started. So we're going to start off with why. Why would we declutter and what kind of benefit can it bring to you? So if you're feeling overwhelmed by your craft space, if you're spending a lot of time organising, reorganising, or you just can't find anything that you need, then this might be the video to help. We're going to have a good clear out and we're going to get back some of that time that you spend organising and reorganising, and we're going to spend that stitching, which is our favourite thing to do. This is not about having everything bare or anything a certain aesthetic, everything empty. This is about keeping the things that we love and use. We only want to keep the things that add value to our life. So how do we establish value? So not value in a monetary sense. We're talking about how these items that we're keeping, are they adding to your crafts? Does it save you time? Or does it make things easier? Or do you just really love using it? They're the things that we really want to keep. So we've all bought those tools and notions that we see floss tubers using, we see it on Instagram, or we go into the craft store and we just have to buy it. And we get it home and it goes in a drawer. We might use it once or twice, but it just doesn't live up to the hype. And they're the things we need to get rid of. So I'm not trying to ram this down your throat. It is not for everybody, but I've had questions about how I declutter and some of the tips and tricks that I've picked up along the way. And I would just like to share that with you. So we're going to get started. So all you need to start off with is a bin of some sort. This is called our time will tell bin, and I'll get to this and explain what it is in a minute. We want a bag or a box that we're going to put donations in. Anything you want to donate or de-stash is going to go in here. And then we've got an old plastic bag, and we're just going to put anything that is actual rubbish in there and get rid of it out of our homes. So a time will tell bin is things that you think you might want to get rid of but you're not sure yet. So we're going to put it in this box and we're going to give it a time limit. So that could be a day, 2 days, that could be months or even years. I'm going to have mine for 1 year, and if within that year I have not gone back in this box for something, anything that is left in this box after that time, I've not gone back to use anything out of here, this can go. So that is what a time will tell bin is, and this takes out some of the decisions and the decision fatigue. So this is my Kallax unit where I want to keep all my craft supplies. I don't want it anywhere else in the house, and that is called the container method. And basically all that means is that we are assigning an amount of space for our supplies. That could be a room, that could be a shelf, that could be a box. Everything has a limit of how much you want to keep. So in each of these boxes are craft supplies that need sorting through, and we're going to go through it, and I'm going to show you how I make these decisions. So let's get started. So I'm going to start in this top box and see what we've got. And we're going to use the time will tell bin, our donation bag and our bin bag, trash bag, to decide what we're going to keep and what we're not going to keep. So here is a cord, I don't know what that's from, that can go in the bin. My nudge hoops, so I do like having these on hand. So it is pretty organised in here. I have Q-snap and some Q-snap extensions. So this is going to be my frame and Q-snap box. So that was easy. And we're just going to do one box at a time. I do not recommend pulling everything out and dumping it on the floor. It is far too overwhelming. And you don't have to do this all in one go. Set a timer, 5-10 minutes at a time, or a box at a time, and you're going to get through it eventually. So next is papers. So I have here a quilt book. This is the Bonnie and Camille Quilt Bee book, and I used to quilt, but there is a cross stitch in here of that's on the front cover, and I do like it. I've had this book since it came out, which was in, I don't know, I've had this for a couple of years, and I've still not stitched it. So this is going to go in my time will tell bin, and if I don't go to stitch this pattern, I am going to de-stash or donate this pattern in the future. So I've not decided yet what I'm going to do with that. So that's our first in the time will tell bin. So we have some like paper patterns here. This is Hands-on Designs booklet, and these are like working copies of different patterns. An old quilt pattern, an old quilt pattern. So I'm no longer making that quilt, so that can go. And the working copies, I'm not actively using them, so I am going to get rid of these. And let's see. So I bought this when it came out from Hands-on Designs, and I have still not stitched it. It is not really my style anymore. There is these cute biscornues which I might stitch, add to my list. So this is going to go in the time will tell bin, and if I've made no plans for this in the next year, then I will de-stash. So we'll put that in the time will tell bin. Another book, Cross Stitch for the Soul by Emma Congdon. And again, I never go to these, but will I in the future? These are like the items that are the hardest, I think. Will I ever come back to it? This is going to go in the time will tell bin. And we'll see if I make any plans to use this in the next year. Another paper pattern. We have the Blue Flower Tudor Bee. I think that is so cute. I do want to stitch this. So this is going to go in, this is going to be a keep. So we're going to keep things here that we're keeping. So we've got some 12 by 12 cardstock. I'm going to get rid of this. I will probably, it's easy to come by. If I ever need anything for just one piece of card, I can go to Hobbycraft and get one piece of card. I don't need a full pack, just sat here waiting. And then we have some printer paper. I don't have my printer anymore, so that's going to go. More paper. This is all just paper. So I'm going to get rid of that. And we have a box clear. So this is my Q-Snap and Nerd Frame box. That's going to go back in there. And I'm just going to put this pattern in here, and that is to keep. Because I always declutter first and then I'll go back in and organise. So we're going to go in this cupboard here. So this is a mess. And we're going to see what's in here. So we've got a pouch with nothing in. So I'm probably going to de-stash or give away that. So here's our giveaway bag. We have a table runner. I got this from the retreat for the raffle. I'm really not quilting anymore. I can't see myself buying fabric for it, even though it is so cute and it is off Gay. Thank you, Gay. But yeah, we're gonna de-stash that. Then we have a bag. Oh, we have a bag with a finish in it, with my Nora Corbett house finish. But I've kept this in here because I've got the second half to do another house. So I am going to keep that together because that is essentially ready to go. But it's in the wrong place. So that needs rehoming. We have this horrible to me needle point canvas that I bought that I don't like. I've got a full packet of it, and this offcut. That is going to be a de-stash because I'm not going to use it. We have my attempt at knitting socks. I do want to get back to this at some point. It just needs a home instead of being shoved into here. So we're going to put that in the keep box. We have the leftovers from my crochet blanket. I was thinking about this the other day because I was thinking, oh, maybe I can make another blanket because I have more. So in this box here is all my crochet stuff, and I don't think I'm going to be drawn back to these colours. I think if I was going to do another blanket, I would want fresh yarn and different colours, so I'm going to de-stash these as well. While we're here, we may as well go through this box. So we have some sock yarn that I got from Hobby. I do not like this yarn, so I'm going to de-stash. Same with the second ball of it, de-stash. These are leftovers from my granny square blanket, and like I said, I do not need all these mini yarns. I understand people would want to keep this just in case, and that is fine. This is just the way I do it and how I look at things. So I'm going to de-stash them and let somebody else make something with them. And then what is left is some T-pins for blocking, some hooks. So I'm going to put my hook in there, and that is going to be my little crochet tools. We have the knitting needles that I bought to start off with that I did not like using. So I'm going to put these in the box and I'm going to de-stash them, because if I didn't like using them the first time, I'm not going to like using them the second time. So we're going to de-stash. Same with these. I'm not going to come back to these colours. I'm going to pick fresh colours. So my de-stash bag is full already. And here is my box of stitch markers. So that box is empty now. Ooh. And now we can put all these away that have been just thrown in there. We have my tapestry needle things for weaving in, so that can go in my little crochet bag. This is the label for the fabric for this, so I'm going to put that in there. And my extension bar for my Laura stand. Will this fit in there? Yeah, so that fits in now with my Q snaps and frames. So we've got an empty box here and an empty box here. So I'm just going to put that in there. And we're going to move on to the next row. So as you can see, I moved through this really quickly. That is because I've been on this journey for 3 years now. And these decisions become easier and easier to make the more you do it. It is called decluttering muscles. You build your decluttering muscles and it gets easier every time, which is why I recommend you starting off with 5 or 10 minutes, and then next time you'll come back and it will be that bit easier. So we're going to move on to this next one now. What is up here? So this is my kitting up drawer. Everything I need to kit up a project. And this is one of the reasons why I like to declutter, because when things are messy, you end up overbuying. I bought these because I couldn't find the original packet. So that all seems, I've recently gone through this and organised it and got rid of any excess. The only thing I probably will get rid of is this giant jailer binder thing. I don't use it. I've never liked using it. It's too big. So I'm going to put that in the de-stash. and then everything else we can keep. Next is cones. These are cheap cones that I got off Temu or AliExpress. I'm going to keep those in there, and then I can refill my master set when I run out of anything. And then here is my DMC master set, so I'm not getting rid of any of that. So now we're onto this side. I've gone through 1, 2, 3, 4 cubes so far, and this is my fabric cube. So as you can see, this is already organised. These are on comic book boards that I've cut down, and this pile in the front are scraps. So I'm going to have a quick rifle through and see if there's any fabrics that I know for a fact I'm not going to stitch on, and give that to somebody who will use it. So I do still stitch on Lugana, so we're going to keep them. Ada, I'm not going to stitch on. Another piece of Ada, that's Lugana. Oh, yeah, they're both Lugana. Ada and Ada, I'm really not going to stitch on. And the rest is, oh, another piece of Ada. And that's the scraps done, and I'm quickly just going to flip through and see if there's any Ada that I know I'm not going to stitch on, and there isn't. That is all Lugana. So that bin is okay the way it is. Because I do this quite regularly, you might be thinking, what's the point? But as you can see, we've already got rid of a ton of stuff. So like, this is why I do go through every so often and just get rid of anything that maybe last time I wasn't ready to get rid of, but this time I am. So talking of the container concept, this is a prime example. So this is my fabric drawer, and I do not want my fabric to outgrow this drawer. I think this is plenty for me. So I know that once this is full, I can't afford any more space to give to any more fabric. So there is a bit more space, but I know there is fabric elsewhere in these cubes that needs to go in here. So once we come to that, we can figure out what we're gonna do. And this drawer just has some miscellaneous bits in, thread mainly. So we have this DMC tin. This has got the variegated skeins, the satin ones, all that stuff, that etoile, stuff that I'm not using all the time. I do like to have those on hand, and they don't take up much room. So I'm gonna put this aside, and this is gonna go in this drawer here with the cones. And like I said, I am just decluttering right now. There's no organisation being put in place at the minute. Then I have a few skeins of 504. This is a discontinued colour, but I think it is being replaced by 3813. So this is going to go in my extra skeins. So I'm going to pop that in with the cones, and like I said, we're just putting things away. We're not organising, we're not making it nice. We're just getting the things out that we need out before we go in and organise. I have a little bag of overdyes that are leftovers from projects. So I want to keep hold of those and see if we can put them to use. And then we have, this is how I kit up my beaded projects. I put all the beads in one of these boxes, and these go with this. So I'm going to put this in the bag, and then all I need for that project for the second house is the pattern, and everything should be in there. I then have a box with some leftover Krynic in there. I'm going to keep that, so that's going to go in the thread box. Some floss away bags. I've bought these 2 years ago. I've never open them. So I am going to de-stash. And then we've got a spare box with nothing in, and I'm going to de-stash. Or just get rid of that. So we are on our final set. This cupboard we will not be going through because that is things for like TV control and game controls and stuff like that. They're not crafting. So we have all my scraps and full pieces of Easy Guide Lugana. This needs to go in with my fabric, but at the minute it won't fit. So we're gonna get that fabric bin back out and see if we can get this in. And then we have all this floss that I've not put away. So we need to put that away. That will be for future organising video, but I will put it with my cones. And like I said, we're just dumping it in there for now until we're ready to come back and organise. So that is another empty drawer. Ooh. And then we have another box of miscellaneous. So, a label maker. This I used to use a lot. I don't use so much anymore. I think I might get rid of it, but I'm not fully committed to the idea, so I'm going to put it in my time will tell box. We have some tacky glue, glue based it, and seam align glue. So this is primarily for quilting. I don't use it, so I'm going to de-stash that. This is good for finishing. I'm going to keep hold of that one. And yeah, I'm going to keep hold of these two and get rid of one. Then we have some walnut shells. These are great for filling your little cushions with to give them a bit of extra weight. I bought these maybe 3 years ago. I've never opened them, I've never used them, and I've made cushions since. So I'm going to de-stash these. We have another tape for the label maker, so that's going to go in there. We have a little paper crafting glue thing. I do use this when I am joining pages for a paper pattern, so I'm going to put this in with my kitting up stuff, which is there. These are the bits and bobs that came with my sewing machine, so I do need to keep those safe, but these are going to go away with my sewing machine. We have some double-sided sticky tape. These are good for finishing as well, so I'm going to keep that. Some sequin pins. I use these for finishing on foam core board, so I'm going to keep that. A staple gun. I'm going to keep it, it's handy. We're going to keep that. And then we have some wire cutters, and I'm going to keep that as well. An extra bin, an extra bag. So we're going to get rid of that bag. We have some 12 weight cotton. I bought this for my sewing machine, but I had ideas of doing maybe like a monochromatic piece with them. They're going to go in my time will tell bin. These were pricey, and things that cost a lot of money are hard to get rid of. You can never get that money back that you've already spent, but you feel like getting the value out of it by actually using it. I'm going to put it in my time will tell bin, and we're going to see if I ever come back to it. If I don't, then it can go and be with somebody that is going to use it. We have my finished lion in here, just waiting to be measured and framed. So I need to put that somewhere safe so it doesn't get damaged. And then we have a crochet hook. So here is my little bag of crochet tools. And that's everything, that's the whole thing gone through. So now that I've been through everything, I've got rid of the excess, I want to now go in and organise. So we're going to start with these extra bits. So ideally I want a drawer to have its own purpose, each drawer. So this is my Q-snap drawer, and then I need somewhere to put my knitting or crochet stuff. So this is going to be the knitting / crochet, and we're going to put that in there. Kitten is up there, that is already ready to go. We're going to sort this out. This is a mess. So I'm not going to go through the skeins of DMC today, but we can just tidy this up so it is accessible to get things. So I'm just going to line up the cones super quick. We're going to put these extras in. So this is now my extra thread box, and that DMC is to be sorted at a later date. So that is now my extra thread box. Fabric. So I need to somehow get these bits into here. So I am going to give myself a little bit of leeway because there is no fabric I'm willing to part with, and in my eyes this is in a different category anyway because it is easy guide. So I'm just going to put that in there, and we're going to have the fabric stay as it is. We have an empty box here, so I'm going to put my easy guide in there. And then we're going to put my little finishing stuff at the back of this drawer because it is stuff that I don't really get to or need to access very often. And we're going to put that back. So I am going to put this in my time will tell bin just because I've got no plans to do it right now. So I'll give it a time limit of about a year. If I don't come back to it in a year, then I will reconsider. This is my kitted up Nora Corbett house. This needs to go with my other kitted up object. So that is going to go and be put there. And we're pretty much done. So I now have 2 empty drawers here and a full empty box here, and this cupboard is now empty. So as we move through to different areas of the home over the next couple of weeks, we now have places to put things. So eventually everything will live in here apart from my whips. So just to give you a visual of everything we got rid of. So that is D-stash. And there's not much going in the bin. Because most of the things are usable to somebody else. So I don't want to waste it and throw it away. But it is going to be out of my home, which is the main thing. So like I said, this might not be for everybody. You might think I'm absolutely barking mad. Even if you just spend 5 minutes and get rid of a couple of things and free up a little bit of space in the drawer, it will make it, hopefully it could make you feel a lot better. So thank you so much for joining me today on this crazy decluttering that I do, and I will see you on the next one. Thank you. Bye.